Hello, it's that time again with Big Ben. Everyone likes Big Ben. Thanks for all your emails and messages. Big Ben wins the day. Happy days. 5 degrees centigrade. Where are we? 7:30 in the morning. 5 degrees centigrade, which is 41 Fahrenheit. The flag is doing absolutely nothing. 81% humidity. 1023 millibars on the barometer. Quite mild at the moment. However, we've had all the headlines. Arctic blast, we're freezing. Britain to plunge into -7 degrees centigrade by the end of this week, which all means nothing, as we know. There'll probably be a blistering heatwave weekend. I learnt something the other day. As you know, I like the etymology of words. I'm always banging on about etymology, aren't I? Where words come from. For example, window came from wind hole. They made a hole in the wall, let the wind in. Bonfire. We all know what a bonfire is. Apparently that comes from bone fire, when they used to burn bones. I forget why. I did read why they burn bones, but I forget. So it's not a bonfire, it's a bone fire. Oriel, that's a nice name. Oriel, nice to hear from you. New listener. She says you're talking about Trish and Trisha. Who is she? She's my wife, my better half. Well, she's not listening, so I'll just say my other half. Actually, she is my better half. That's who she is, Oriel. I do tend to forget that new listeners don't know what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about the flag, for example, or the flag has all gone limp, or it's wind from the west. That's a flag, a Union flag, which is outside the front of our house, and I can see it from here on its 20-foot pole. It's not moving, the flag. It's just hanging there doing nothing. When I talk about Gary, he's a tortoise. He's getting ready to hibernate. So yes, I do tend to forget that we've got new listeners coming in all the time, and they're sitting there thinking, what's he on about? Who's Trisha? By the way, I've put a little Christmas tree on the website, rants.info, for the newcomers. Go and have a look there. Little Christmas tree with flashing lights. I was reminded the other day of writing lists to Father Christmas. You write out your Christmas list when you're a child, and I remember doing this. The coal fire is going in the lounge or the dining room, or both, if you could afford the coal. You write your list, then you put it up the chimney. The fire is roaring away. Do you remember that? Who remembers that? From the 1950s and into the 60s. You put your list, you've written it all out neatly on a bit of paper, and you shove it up the chimney. And of course the draft and the heat takes it up the chimney, where it probably burns or just lodges somewhere and gets covered in soot, and Father Christmas can't read it. But I remember doing that. That was lovely. Christmas back in the old days was really nice. I remember asking my mum, when is Christmas? How long till Christmas? She'd say, 2 weeks yet. Oh, no, 2 weeks. And then again, how long is Christmas? It's another week yet. When's Christmas? It's 3 days. And then, of course, we'd get to Christmas Eve. That was the time. It's really exciting for the kids. Christmas Eve, yay, Father Christmas. I used to try to stay awake. I forget how old I was, obviously very young. Not in my teens, trying to stay awake to catch Father Christmas come in with the presents. And I remember I did stay awake one night and I saw my dad come in. He crept into the bedroom, put the presents in our stockings and crept out. How old would I have been then? I don't know, 6 or 7? And I remember thinking, that's not Father Christmas. When I was in my teens, I went to work, of course, and Christmas Eve at work in the radio and TV workshop, lunchtime was between 1 and 2. So we went over the pub just over the road at 1 o'clock. That's by Worthing Central Station. Stayed in there till 2:30 or 3 and then went back to the workshop. And of course, no one was fit to do any work. You can't start repairing a television after a few beers. It's dangerous for a start, electrocute yourself. And the boss would come out and he'd say, all right, you lot, go on, clear off home. Clear off home. That was good. That was Christmas Eve. And in those days, people did work right up to Christmas Eve, 5 or 6 in the evening, the normal time. I remember one Christmas Eve at work, the boss, I was 18, 19, the boss said to me, I know what you'll be doing tomorrow, Ray. And I said, well, what, Christmas Day? He said, yeah, I know what you'll be doing. Firing up some illegal pirate radio transmitter. He knew me well. And then he added, don't get caught because we will need you back here. We don't want you in prison. And he did ask me the frequency. What frequency is it going to be? I'll have a listen. That was on medium wave, or the AM band, as you call it, across the pond. Happy days. Everyone pirated on Christmas Day. You tune around medium wave. There's pirate stations everywhere. It was just accepted. If you're a pirate, you've got to pirate on Christmas Day. Just going back to Big Ben. Big Ben is the bell, isn't it? You probably know this, but some people might not. So now you can learn something. Apart from a bonfire is a bonfire. Big Ben is the bell. The tower is the Elizabeth Tower. Not Big Ben. People think Big Ben is the tower. Anyway, that's that out of the way. Pubs used to be decorated for Christmas. Do you remember the week up to Christmas? The pubs had Christmas trees. I don't know what they have now because we don't go to pubs. But that was a lovely atmosphere in the pub at Christmas, especially on Christmas Eve. Of course, Christmas Day, they didn't open. Nowhere opened on Christmas Day. Shops, everything was closed. And I remember running out of cigarettes. I smoked back then, I was naughty. Can't get cigarettes. I'm driving around all over the place. I did find a petrol station open in the end on Christmas Day. So I went in and bought my cigarettes. I should have stopped smoking then, really. I did eventually, of course. There used to be cigarette machines outside sweet shops. On the wall, you could go up there and put your half a crown in or whatever it was, your 2 bob bits, and pull the door open and buy your cigarettes that way. I remember those as a child. I don't think they were around in my teens, though. And of course, the pubs were closed. Everything was closed. Moving away from Christmas for a minute. Hello, Lee. A question for you and the listeners, Lee says. Was food more flavourful? That's a good word, flavourful, years ago than it is now. For example, I find things like tomatoes these days are utterly devoid of flavour. You're right, Lee. We grow our own tomatoes every year and they taste wonderful. Straight off the vine, absolutely wonderful. Buy them from the supermarkets, they just don't, I don't know, they're full of water. That's all they are, isn't it? Water. As Lee says, same with fruits. Were those foods more tasty years ago? Yes, they were. I mean, bear in mind I was a child, I was in my teens in the 60s, but I do remember food tasting like food. Do you know, we had a pineapple recently, lovely pineapple. Trish cut it all up, didn't taste of anything. Now, you might think that's daft. Pineapples really do taste, don't they? There's a really good taste to a fresh pineapple. This one didn't taste of anything. I thought it was me initially, but Trish said, I can't taste this, and I said, neither can I. And we tried it on a couple of the grandchildren. Can you taste that? No, doesn't taste of anything. What is it? I don't know why that should be. Absolutely zero taste on a nice fresh pineapple. I've never known that before. But so many things these days, they're just bland, aren't they? Anything you buy from a supermarket, what do they do to tomatoes? A tomato is a tomato. How can one grown at home taste beautiful and one from the supermarket just tastes bland and, well, basically nothing? Same with all the fruits, cherries that you get from the supermarket. They don't taste like cherries used to. In the old days, they were lovely. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what they do to this stuff. If you've anything to say about Christmas or fruit, food being tasteless, let me know. Ray's Rants at protonmail.com. Ray's Rants at protonmail.com. There are Christmas lights on the houses out in the street there, on hedges and trees and fences. Lights all over the place. They're looking rather good at night, actually. We haven't put any up yet. I had a look on the calendar this morning. Christmas Day is Wednesday, which is Midweek Message Day, isn't it? The 25th. So I will be annoying you on Christmas Day. That'll be nice. You'll look forward to that, won't you? A lot of things have changed between the old days where we had Christmas and these days where we have Christmas. Very, very different in a lot of ways. But I think the spirit of Christmas is still there. I know people don't all traipse around the town doing their shopping. It was always a joke, wasn't it? Christmas Eve downtown is full of husbands rushing down there, buying their presents on the last possible minute at the 11th hour. I don't think that happens anymore because it's all online. I've ordered Trisha's present online. It's just so much easier, isn't it? Of course, also back in the old days, you could drive downtown and park somewhere. You can't these days. There's just nowhere to park. And if you do find somewhere in a car park, it'll cost you a fortune. Apparently, the shopping centres and retail places have been pretty quiet. It's not Christmas yet, of course, but they've been fairly quiet. You've heard that video killed the radio star. Well, online killed the shopping downtown, I think. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you're all well. Hope you're looking after yourselves. Don't forget to email me. It'll be lovely to hear from you. I don't know what Sunday's podcast episode is all about. I never do I? I've never got a clue. I've got my books here, ideas sent in. So that's good. I shall refer to those later. Take care. Look after yourselves. I shall leave you with an annoying little tune. Happy Christmas. Oh no, it's too early. I mustn't say that yet, must I? Merry Christmas. No, 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 it's too early. How many shopping days to Christmas? Don't even think about it. Take care, look after yourselves, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye bye for now.